Senator, Mr. Tommy Tuberville. Senator Tuberville, as always, sir, it is wonderful to see you. So Trump said he had Powell has the personality of a chair. I love that, by the way. We call him Chairman Chair now. But the bigger point is there is no inflationary, sir. There is no evidence that tariffs are inflationary. The inflation numbers are way below the Fed's target. And yet, stubbornly, the Fed refuses to drop their interest rate target, which is like twice as high as Europe and Canada and these other places, and is probably slowing down the housing market and damaging young people's, trying to get a new home and get a new mortgage. And he's just being stubborn, and I can't figure out why. I don't think he's going to be fired. Maybe you have a different view of that. But, we just have to live with this guy. But it's too bad because they're ignoring the numbers. And I still believe a lot of this has to do with anti-Trump, really deep state, these Fed economists. Anyway, what do you think, Senator Tuberville? Give us your riff on it.
That's 100%, Larry. He's playing politics. That's all it is. The chair you're talking about, he's building an expensive chair in the new building he has. And that's just a big part of what we have going on up here. Every agency in the past is just going spend, spend, spend. Spend all you got. Don't have anything left over at the end. They're not looking out for the American people. I've got to know Jerome Powell, as you know him, over the last few years, and you can just tell he failed to raise rates when Trump was going out of office, and then he tried to lower rates right before the election. It's obviously played politics with this. President Trump probably will not let him go unless there's a real reason for that, and the reason for that is we do need to drop interest rates just to help the homeowner and the home builder. But at the end of the day, it's only 6 more months. We'll see what happens, but unless something really drastic happens, Larry, I don't see the president letting him go, simply for the fact that we got so many bad things going on in this country. That's way on the bottom of the list.
All right, so you all have a $9 billion rescission package up there. And $9 billion ain't much, Senator, for heaven's sakes, but it seems to be a struggle. Everything seems to be a struggle to cut spending. But, there's hope. I mean, you think the spending rate has slowed. The share of GDP has come down of federal spending. But, you have this tariff revenue coming in, $300 billion, according to Scott Besson, could be the estimate for FY25. That's unexpected. That can go on for quite some time, many years. And I'm going to put a growth dividend. You got the big, beautiful bill in. I would say if you generate 3.5% growth, and with all this fancy AI technology and all the rest of it, it's good for productivity and growth. That could contribute $4 or $5 trillion more. So between the tariff revenue and the growth dividend and, yes, some spending reduction, I don't know that we'll get to a balanced budget, but I think, sir, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, we're definitely going in the right direction. The big, beautiful bill was a godsend for all of us, especially for I have 900,000 seniors in the state of Alabama that will reap benefits from the big, beautiful bill, along with a lot of others across the country. But it did not cut spending probably like we should have. We cut some, but we barely got it across the finish line with the small cuts that we had. Now, the rescission package that we're voting on as we speak is only $9 billion. Now, that's one day's work up here in Washington, D.C. It's not a whole lot, but it just goes to show you how hard it is to cut anything up here. I know President Reagan, he cut back in 81, like $15 billion. And then if you just look at President Trump, he had a rescission package back in, 2018. It did not pass. It failed. Nobody likes to cut up here, but I'll tell you what, if we don't start cutting, if we don't quit spending what we're spending, this bill, no matter what we did in the big, beautiful bill, we will spend $26 trillion more than we bring in the next 10 years. We can't sustain that, Larry. This country will not be able to hold up to that number.
Senator Tuberville, why can't you all put up a rescission bill of $9 billion every week?
Well, we could, but it's like pulling teeth to get just one pass, Larry. We only passed last night with 50 votes. We had to bring J.D. Vance over. We lost 3 Republicans. They just refused to cut any money. And again, it all goes back to, hey, it might happen in my state. I might lose 1 or 2 votes. We have to start thinking about the entire country when we're running this place. This is a business. And if you ran a business like this in any city in the country, you'd already gone under and gone bankrupt. We just print money up here when we don't have it. We got to quit printing money. We've got to do the right things, and we've got to let the American people, sometimes we're going to have to take a step backwards before we go forward.
I'll say one thing. I got one more for you, but just on this point. I think President Trump's package, one big beautiful bill, I think the growth dividend from that, instead of less than 2%, which is what the deep state CBO is always predicting, you can move it out between the tax incentives and the deregulation and the energy and the AI and the advanced technology and the productivity. You move that up to 3.5% growth per year, sir. You're going to actually, the number I quoted was $5 trillion. It could be a lot more. You get more than $5 trillion in revenues in the years ahead, could be even more than that. That's going to help. That's a big deal. The deficit will come down. Hopefully you get spending down too, but at least the deficit will come down.
Yeah, the big things, as you talked about, Larry, and President Trump has said this all along, drill, baby, drill. We've got to get our energy prices in order. We have to get more electricity in this country. China is passing us up right and left. Just in Alabama alone, we're trying to build data centers. We can't get the electricity to fuel these data centers. And if we're going to have AI, if we're going to have even a chance to keep up, because we're way behind China as we speak, to get AI, you have to have data centers. You have to have the energy to do that. So there's a lot of things that got to happen. The tariffs have to work. But you're right. I think we can get it done. We just got to do it the right way and take advantage of everything that we have.
Last one, Senator. These attacks on ICE, which are law enforcement officials, all right, they are following the laws. They are getting the worst of the worst criminals out. People are shooting at them, throwing stuff at them, blocking them, politicians, elected officials. According to one study here, now the attacks on ICE are up 830% compared to last year. Even while the border numbers are virtually zero, okay, but the attacks on ICE plus 830%, something's got to be done about that. Something's got to be done about that.
Sure has to, Larry. And again, President Trump did the right thing last week after he saw the video of these vans being hit by rocks, being shot at. Basically, he said, listen, protect yourself, use your authority. If you're shot at, you have the ability to do whatever you need to do to protect yourself and the fellow officers around you. We have a lot of criminals in this country. We have to make sure that we do the right thing for the American people, clean the streets up. We have to have safe neighborhoods. And what we have now is we have out-of-control neighborhoods in a lot of these big cities, most of them blue cities, but we have some in red cities. But we have to do the right thing. President Trump gives the authorization, do what you need to do, get these people back out of the country, and let's clean it all up.
Yeah, Senator Schmidt last night said, throw them in the pokey for 20 years or 25 years. How about that? Double the sentencing. Really? Double the sentencing. That'll knock some sense into them.
Yeah, that's the only thing they understand. You've got to do what they understand, and they expect it if they get caught.
Yes, sir. Senator Tommy Tuberville, great state of Alabama. As always, thank you, sir, for your wisdom. We appreciate it.
Thank you.